Hey guys, Abner Miranda here. Today I wanted to do a quick video for you guys on using cover. Last year there was an event that occurred where an officer, I want to say it was in Texas, an officer took cover behind the pillar of a building. If I remember correctly, the bad guy had an AK on him and the officer had an AR-15, and he was working his cover. He'd lead around the right side, he'd pop some shots at the bad guy. They traded shots back and forth. The bad guy ended up getting very aggressive on the officer, and he advanced on him. The officer sucked up on the cover like this, and the fatal mistake that he made was he looked for the bad guy on the same side of the pillar where he'd seen him last. So he leaned around like this. Just then the bad guy ran around this side and drilled the officer, burned him to the ground. It was very difficult for a lot of us to watch in the training community because we knew the error that he'd made that had cost his life. And what was even more frustrating was knowing that there was a great chance that the officer had never actually been trained properly how to use cover. This is just going to be a brief demonstration. I'm not going to be training you guys how to use cover. I'm just going to show you guys some of the things that you want to consider. When you're using cover, you have a desire to want to suck up on the cover because it feels good to get up tight. And it's the mindset of out of sight, out of mind. You can't see the threat, and somehow psychologically it just makes you feel better. Problem is, you can't see the threat. And if he moves on you, you've lost him. And chances are, if he's aggressive, he's going to get you. The beauty of this position is, if you get off of your cover, you can move from one side to the other on that cover without even having to retract your pistol to get around cover. This is trusting that you have the room to back off of your cover a little bit. Also trusting that you don't have another threat coming up behind you, and that's a whole nother scenario. But just working cover from a linear fashion, if you're far enough from the cover, you can go one side to the other, leaning out on either side, and not have to give up your shooting stance. So here, I'm pretty close to cover. And here I've got to lean out this far to get a clean hit on the target. If I back up this is about 7 feet, if I set up and lean out just a little bit, there's a lot less that the threat can see of me, but I've got a clean shot on him. You'll notice that the shots that I put on him are pretty much in the same position, but the threat was not able to see. The threat was stymied by what it could see because I'd given him less to look at. So once again, and yes, because I'm a lefty, I'm working cover on the left side. Why? Because it just makes sense. I'm going to see if I can present the least amount possible. This is the least I can give this bad guy without giving up my ability to cleanly see around the threat. Right side's going to be a little bit harder because I'm a lefty. So now I've got to move to my right eye, even though I'm holding with my left hand. There's my shot. Okay, we got 4 shots here on target. They're all decent, clean hits inside of a 6-inch circle. And as you can see, from both sides of that pillar, this camera was able to see very little of my body because I had cover and he was moving in the open. You can do this in your own home. You can take a very cheap spider tripod, screw your iPhone into it, your Samsung, whatever, with those little expanding cell phone holders. And I would advise you to have the tripod holding your phone like this, not like this, so that you have a wider field of view of what the human eye would be able to see in an image. Set it up on a bar, you know, on the bar in your house, set it up on top of your television, whatever, and slowly work your angles in your house, obviously with an unloaded pistol. Work your angles in your home, and you'll be surprised, if you do this properly and slowly, how little the enemy would be able to see of you. That's what I've got for you guys today. As always, I thank you for watching. God bless you all. Get those guns out in practice. Have a good one.